Well, there again, he created the Tonight Show format, the longest running show in the history of television. This is the 52nd year. They announce it as the 50th year, but remember, he did the same show 2 years before that was local called The Steve Allen Show. And because it was so brilliant, they decided to change the title to The Tonight Show so that, they would have Today in the Morning and make it an hour show on the network. But when he created Meeting of Minds, again, there had never been anything like that before, where characters from different countries and periods and everything would talk and argue as if they were on The Tonight Show. There were so many people that appeared on it that when they were through had no idea what they were doing, because you had to hang around. It took me weeks of different characters to realize that it was the Tonight Show atmosphere. That was the word. That was the key to the whole show.
And where did Steve get the idea for that?
Who knows? Where did he get the idea for this could be the start of something big? He dreamt it in his sleep. He would get up in the middle of the night almost every night, and I would hear the piano here in the living room. And the next day he would have 3 hit songs. The man had this brain that there were no boundaries, you see. Nobody said you can't do that. And if they did, he would say, you can't do it, I can. Larry Gilbert, when he wrote, in the Emmy magazine, they wrote the memorial about Steve. He said everything Steve did, if you stop and think of it, was jazz. Not just his music. It was all free, true, original. He never copied anybody. They copy him today, and some of them brilliantly. I should say all of them that I've seen do it. I love Jay Leno and David Letterman and all of them, and they do a wonderful job. But he created it. I imagine that the studios and networks might not have bought it, but it was bought right away by PBS, because PBS, they have the courage, and they have more than that. They have the freedom to do things that the networks can't do. But however, now to get back to him wanting me on the show, the first character that he had in mind was Cleopatra. And when he came to me and said, here's this idea I have, what do you think of it? And I thought Cleopatra, is the most exotic thing to start with, and I want you to play it. I said, absolutely not, you're crazy. Me, Miss New England, 5'6.5", that I'm going to play that little. She was 5 feet 2 inches, I think, and weighed something like 300 pounds, It's Shaw and Shakespeare that have made her glamorous. But look at her, whatever drawings there are of her. She was a funny-looking little creature. But I said, Steve, I'm not going to sit there with a snake on my arm at my age playing, because I think she was about 35 when she died or something. And I am so wrong for it. There are a million actresses you can get for it. And he said, play her or it's a divorce. Of course he was kidding. But I realized that he told me, he said, the world will someday remember me from Meeting of Minds, not The Tonight Show. Not This Could Be the Start of Something Big or any of those great songs that, he's made a lot of money on. And I cannot tell you when the show was first done, the reactions from the public and from...
What were the reactions?
Oh, my dear. First of all, it was required reading by many, many of the schools and colleges. We did our dress rehearsal at UCLA. The theater was packed. Afterwards, for a question and answer period, the students wouldn't leave the hall. And we were there answering questions because it was Cleopatra, that wonderful, brilliant American, the writer, I can't think of in fact, Steve played it on one version that we did. Steve decided he wanted to do it, and he got Peter Lawford to be the host, and he played that character. And then, if I'm not mistaken, we had Teddy Roosevelt, and maybe Sir Thomas Aquinas. Anyway, the trick was to get the people who were the opposite. Like I had opposite me as Marie Antoinette, I had Karl Marx. Now, you know, you couldn't get any better choice opposite Marie Antoinette, the little bird brain who spent all the money while people were starving, let him eat cake, which incidentally she never said, but put Karl Marx in there, you see. And he created it. It was, to me, my theory about Steve is that he enjoyed that job as much, if not more than anything else he ever did.